I'm going to talk about ethics of artificial intelligence. I'm going to talk about ethics of AI. And in this video, in this first video, I'm going to introduce you to ethics of artificial intelligence. I think it's important to mention that ethics is a subdomain of philosophy, and that ethics itself consists of three subdomains: meta-ethics, descriptive ethics, and normative ethics of artificial intelligence. Meta-ethics is about very difficult, very abstract questions such as, are AI principles, are they objective? Or do they just reflect personal, subjective experiences and intuitions? A second kind of question that people can ask in the context of artificial intelligence has to do with their intuitions, their beliefs. We try to track, we try to describe what is in an engineer's mind. How is an engineer thinking about sustainability, privacy, fairness, and safety? We are not evaluating their beliefs, we just try to track and describe them. But the most important and most known subdomain within ethics of artificial intelligence is normative, right? It's a very young domain, it's a very young subdomain. It only exists since 10, 12, 15 years. However, I guess that most of you already are familiar with the three laws that were described in the second half of the last century by Isaac Asimov in his very known short story novel called I, Robot. Normative ethics of AI is about what is desirable and what is undesirable in the context of using and developing artificial intelligence. It's about trying to find the risks and problems that people can face when they are using and developing artificial intelligence. And the endpoint, the end result, the intended end result is ethical AI. And people use many different words and expressions and terms in order to refer to that same end result. Ethical AI, AI for good, sustainable AI, trustworthy AI. Most of that work has been done by academics, by philosophers, and ethicists more specifically. However, we also have people in academia working in legal studies or also economics that are trying to define what the normative principles are that should guide us when we are developing and using artificial intelligence. And next to that, also outside the context of a university, non-academics, people working in companies, but also governments, national and international institutions try to track, try to find, develop normative principles. First, think about the private initiatives in companies such as Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Anthropic, OpenAI. They do have their private guidelines that people in the company are using when you are developing artificial intelligence. But we also have ethical guidelines from the European Commission, right? And since the middle of the 24, we have the AI Act, which is the first legal, substantial, European in this context, instrument in order to mitigate the smaller but also large-scale risks that we face when we are using and developing artificial intelligence. As I mentioned, normative ethics of artificial intelligence is a very young subdomain. However, there are a couple of concepts, concerns, and problems that a lot of people agree upon. Well, we should focus on these problems, concerns, issues, and concepts. I'm referring here to, for example, accountability and responsibility, privacy, fairness, explainability, justice, robustness, and safety. A lot of people agree upon, let's focus on this, right? And I'm going to focus in the next video on one specific concern about using and developing artificial intelligence, not about misinformation, privacy, or justice. I'm going to focus on bias and discrimination.